been in talks with Afghanistan, India has been in talks with Bangladesh, India has been in talks with Maldives, India has been in talks in Indonesia, Malaysia, and all these countries have sort of given their go-ahead, given their nod and agreement over the rising extremism or terrorism at a global level. And that is why when India brings back this most wanted person from the United States through legal challenges, that vindicates India's stand, that India's stand on terror is very clear, be it Indian citizen or a foreign citizen who has been involved in terror crimes in India will be tried by the court of law, and India will take every effort to bring them back so that they can face the law here. And not just for crimes in India, India is also cooperating with other nations when it comes to the issue of terrorism. So Tahawwur Rana's extradition from United States with active diplomatic efforts between India and United States vindicates India's stand, it strengthens India's position at global level, and also exposes Pak's link on continuously pushing or fomenting trouble in Indian territory.
Right. In fact, I still have Devika there, the eyewitness and a victim of this attack. Devika, just want to understand from you, Tahawwur Rana's extradition, उनका जो extradition होने वाला है, US ने जो है वो कह दिया है कि वो extradition होगा. Tahawwur Rana will be brought back to India. मैं आपसे ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि जो पिछले 15 साल जो आपके गुजरे हैं, अब आगे की आप जो लाइफ है, आपको लगता है कि वो थोड़ी डिफरेंट होगी आपकी, क्योंकि एक सेंस ऑफ क्लोजर मिलेगा आपको?
सर, आगे की लाइफ का तो मैं नहीं जानती हूँ कि कैसी होगी, डिफरेंट होगी या जो भी है सर, बट इन 16 सालों में जो कुछ मैंने फेस किया है उस चीज़ों से इतना तो समझिए कि टेररिज्म से हम जितना डरेंगे तो वो आपको उतना डराएंगे, तो हमें इसके डट के सामना करना है. जब हमारे आर्मी ऑफिसर, नेवी ऑफिसर, पुलिस ऑफिसर डरते नहीं है तो हम आम जो पब्लिक है उन्हें भी डरना नहीं चाहिए. इन लोगों के सामने खड़े होकर इनके डट के सामना करके इन्हें मुंह तोड़ जवाब देना चाहिए सर.
All right, Devika, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. In fact, this is the big news that is coming, that we are tracking at this hour. The US Supreme Court, it has cleared Mumbai-attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India, dismissing his review petition against the move. India, remember, is seeking the extradition of Rana, a Canadian national of Pakistani origin, as he's wanted in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks case. Remember, this was Rana's last legal chance not to be extradited to India. Earlier, he lost a legal battle in several federal courts, including the US Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco. In fact, just to give you a sense of the timeline here, Tahawwur Rana, David Coleman Headley, he was arrested on the 3rd of October in 2009. And it was David Headley who testified against Tahawwur Rana. And it was, in fact, his testimony that exposed Tahawwur Rana's role in 26/11 attack. In fact, David Headley mentioned and said in that testimony that it was Rana who gave logistical and financial support for this entire operation. All right, I'm currently joined by Mr. P.K. Jain, the former DGP of Maharashtra. So, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. Just give us a sense of how big a victory this is for India.
Thank you, Osama. See, it's a big achievement because Tahawwur Rana is a close associate of ISI. He's funded by the ISI, and he had facilitated the entire trip of James of Headley. Now, by getting him to India, the Indian agencies will get an access to what exactly transpired behind this entire conspiracy of attacking India. So I think, we had one guy who spilled the entire beans on Pakistan as to how Pakistan is funding and still carrying out terrorist activities against India. So Tahawwur Rana would be a much bigger achievement because he is aware of the operations of ISI and Pakistani-backed elements in America and India. So I think it is going to be a big achievement. It is going to be a storehouse of information. I'm sure the Indian intelligence agencies will be able to dig out a lot more important information from him as compared to what they got from Qatar.
Absolutely, sir. And in terms of the legal process and the potential outcome is concerned, I just want to get some insights from you on that, especially on the legal process and the potential outcome of his trial in India.
We have not been able to except Qatar. We have not been able to prosecute practically anybody in India in connection with that entire conspiracy and whatever transpired with terrorist activities. Getting this fellow, as I said, again will put the focus on Pakistan's backing of terror. And the legal process will, of course, take its own course. The agencies will have to prove his involvement, whatever he already has been convicted in the US. But he has to stand the test of the legal process in India also. But I'm sure that the agencies have got plenty of material on him and his handlers to bring them to justice in piecemeal basis also. It is all happening in piecemeal basis, but it will happen.
Sir, I also want to understand from you, are there any potential challenges or considerations as far as, especially for the Indian authorities, as far as ensuring that this trial is conducted in India transparently and fairly?
See, he has already been convicted. As I said, he was in custody in the US. I'm sure the Indian agencies will get a lot of information. They already have a lot of information. Some more information they will get from the US agencies also. I don't see any potential challenges or any serious challenges to his prosecution and conviction in India.
Mr. P.K. Jain, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. In fact, I'm also currently joined by a senior lawyer, Satish Manashinde. Sir, welcome to NDTV. I just wanted to understand from you, what implications does Rana's extradition to India hold, especially for India's efforts to bring those involved in the 2008 Mumbai attack to justice here?
See, first of all, the incident happened almost 17 years back. And the government of India in 2008 had made a declaration that everyone responsible for this disastrous consequences which were caused on the Indian population, every person would be brought to book. And the government of India did not give up in spite of the fact that he was arrested in the US and there were a lot of legal impediments. In spite of all that, government has seen that ultimately it has succeeded in the extradition proceedings, and Rana will be brought to book in India and he'll be tried, and the world will know that the Indian government believes in the fair trial. Hello?
Right. So I also want to understand from you, how will Tahawwur Rana's extradition impact the ongoing investigations and trials related to the 2008 Mumbai attack?
See, still a large number of accused who are absconding are spread out all over the world. The Indian government has given a lesson to the world that it will not stoop, it will not give up any steps to bring the guys to book and prosecute them. And I'm sure those who are absconding now will be in much more fear than they were earlier.
Right. So, sir, what you're saying is that we can definitely expect further, further developments or breakthroughs in the 2008 attack case following his extradition.
As far as security of India is concerned, it is non-compromisable and non-debatable. Therefore, any person who was involved, you must have seen that a large number of people who were holed up in Pakistan, probably in their own country, due to the strife that they are facing, met their end. But as long as they are alive, the government of India will not spare any efforts, particularly the present government, which has zero tolerance for terrorism.
Right. So, I also want to understand from you, what are the potential repercussions here for Tahawwur Rana's associates or the co-conspirators in this particular attack? Because that is also another angle that the authorities are going to look at.
See, the co-conspirators, whoever is concerned, if at all they have been in touch with Rana, because if you realize the evidence that is brought on the board so far by the prosecution, Rana was the one who was the prime mover of this incident, because he photographed and videographed the entire city of Bombay wherever the attacks took place. So any person who associated with him, gave him shelter, gave him help, conspired with him, will also be brought to book.
Sir, I also want to understand from you the legal implications of Tahawwur Rana's extradition and how it might, impact future extradition cases now.
See, bringing a person from the US is a very difficult proposition.
Yeah.
And then you are asking Mr. P.K. Jain whether there will be challenges and hurdles brought by the accused once he is extradited to India. All the accused all over the world try and bring all legal impediments to see that the extradition did not take place. So we have met with that situation. Now they will try and impede the trial and try and create delays in conduct of this trial, so that the other absconding accused get to leave from wherever they are. It is a very highly conspired case, and a large number of people were involved. And I'm sure a lot of people in Pakistan, were in the establishment, were also concerned with this incident. This cannot be done without the participation of the establishment.
Sir, finally, just give us some clarity on the role that international law might play here, and especially in how do you think it might influence the entire outcome here?
Well, he may claim that he is a citizen of the US and not amenable to Indian territory, but nobody should forget. People should not forget that Rana came to India, committed criminal acts in India. So therefore, the role of international law will be very minimum in this case.
All right, correct. Satish Manashinde, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV and giving us all those vital details as far as this entire case is concerned. We'll take a very short break and we'll be back with more.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Anil Kapoor.
Proud of all the officers here.
Kiara Advani. Sonu Sood.
आज मुझे मौका मिला आपके साथ जुड़ने का.
Vijay Devarakonda.
We are Indians.
Republic Day Special. Best of Jai Jawan, only on NDTV 24/7.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone.
Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles.
This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted.
This is reporting that matters only on NDTV.
All right, welcome back. The big story that we are tracking at this hour, the Mumbai terror attack the person wanted for the terror attack in Mumbai, Tahawwur Rana, he will be extradited to India. The United States Supreme Court has cleared his extradition. The US top court has given the green light for his extradition. In fact, I'm joined by my colleague Mohammad Ghazali here. Ghazali, just wanted to understand from you the trial process. How do you think Tahawwur Rana's trial process will differ in India as compared to the United States, and what are the outcomes, potential outcomes that we are looking at?
See, you must have remembered that how Abu Salim was brought back to India through extradition, and then his trial started, he was convicted, and he's behind the bars. In a similar way, because he was also accused of terror charges in India during the 93 blast. In the same fashion, I think Tahawwur Rana, who was involved, who is accused of harboring those terrorists or providing logistical support to those who came to India in Mumbai on 26/11 for the attack, he will be facing the same charges here. And as the senior police officers were rightly pointing out, that his involvement and his interrogation will certainly bring out a lot of truths about the involvement of Pakistan's ISI agency, that how they are involved, how they're also sort of collaborating with their own citizens who have moved to the West, and they are running all those modules through which they provide the logistical support to people to carry out terror attacks across the world. And especially for India, that would be the major concern, that how many such modules are running in the neighborhood in other Western countries, and how these people are involved, or with how are they given this kind of logistical support to carry out such attacks. This will also expose or sort of bring some truths about India's security agencies. They will also try to find out the collaborators here, because without internal collaboration, this entire terror act would not have been carried out, is the general belief. So these truths will come out when Tahawwur Rana will be brought back to India, and certainly the law will take its own course. But it is a major victory for India when it comes to such a big terror attack, and one of the key accused sitting in US for years, battling legal challenges to avoid this extradition, has now been rejected. His plea has been rejected there, and India has been given the access for his extradition. So that is certainly a big victory and a big step towards further more investigation into that deadly terror attack which happened on 26/11.
Right, Mohammad Ghazali, thank you very much for getting us all those details. So the US Supreme Court has indeed cleared Mumbai-attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India, dismissing his review petition against the move. In fact, the US Supreme Court on Saturday, that is today, it cleared 2008 Mumbai terror attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. Remember, India has long sought the extradition of Rana, a Canadian national of Pakistani origin. He is wanted in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks. In fact, this entire development, it comes weeks after Rana approached the US Supreme Court against his extradition to India after losing the legal battle in lower courts. Rana, in fact, had last reached out to the US Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco after losing the legal battle in lower courts and several federal courts there. This, in fact, was Tahawwur Rana's last legal chance not to be extradited to India. Rana, remember, faces charges for his role in 26/11 Mumbai attack and is known to be associated with Pakistani-American Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist David Coleman Headley, one of the main conspirators of the terror incident that hit India's financial capital in 2008. In fact, it was David Coleman Headley who was arrested on the 3rd of October in 2009, had revealed in that testimony, he testified against Tahawwur Rana, and he exposed Tahawwur Rana's role in 26/11 attacks. He mentioned that Tahawwur Rana gave logistical and financial support, that Tahawwur Rana helped in opening an office in Mumbai, and that Tahawwur Rana posed David Headley had posed as Rana's firm's agent to gain access to India and Mumbai. Well, so big victory for India. Tahawwur Rana will be extradited to India. We'll be following that story as things develop. But first, let's take a break at this moment.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform. Please mind the gap. BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for Mega Metro poll coverage.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to top ministers to what is often the biggest story, India, a global economic powerhouse. Conversations around our greatest challenges from AI to wars to sustainability. Join us, NDTV's Vishnu Shom and me, Neeraj Shah, as we engage with the world's finest. NDTV at Davos from January 20th to January 25th.
The future of infrastructure, the future of multi-nodal connectivity, the future of integrated rail, road and air transport. The future is here. Witness groundbreaking innovations and game-changing ideas at the Future Summit on 27 January, exclusively on the NDTV network.
I've been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of
A big win for India as in the 26/11 Mumbai attack, Tahawwur Rana will be extradited to India. The US court has cleared Tahawwur Rana's extradition. A big poll battle on the polluted Yamuna River. Delhi BJP takes a jibe at the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal. Parvesh Verma, in fact, protests against the Aam Aadmi Party. Big move by the newly formed Trump administration. Donald Trump has renamed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. Pete Hegseth has been confirmed as US President Donald Trump's defense secretary. Patanjali Foods has recalled 4 tons of red chili powder due to safety concerns raised by the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shab. The US Supreme Court has cleared 2008 Mumbai terror attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India. India, remember, has long sought the extradition of Rana, a Canadian national of Pakistani origin, as he is wanted in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attack case. This, in fact, comes weeks after Rana approached the US Supreme Court against his extradition to India. after losing the legal battle in lower courts. Rana, remember, had last reached out to the US Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco after losing the legal battle in lower courts and several federal courts. This, in fact, was Rana's last legal chance not to be extradited to India. Rana, remember, faces charges for his role in the 26/11 Mumbai attack and is also known to be a close associate of Pakistani-American Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorist David Coleman Headley, one of the main conspirators of the terror incident that hit India's financial capital in 2008. So the US Supreme Court has cleared Mumbai-attack convict Tahawwur Rana's extradition to India, in fact dismissing his review petition against the move. India, remember, is seeking the extradition of Rana, a Canadian national of Pakistani origin. He's wanted in the 2008 Mumbai terrorist attacks case. This, remember, was Tahawwur Rana's last legal chance to not be extradited to India. He has lost a legal battle in several federal courts. It also includes the US Court of Appeals for the North Circuit in San Francisco. In fact, on the 13th of November, he had filed a petition before the US Supreme Court. This was denied by the Apex Court on January 21st, just a day after Donald Trump was sworn in as the American president. Tahawwur Rana is currently detained at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Los Angeles. Earlier, remember, the US government had argued in the court that the petition for a writ of certiorari should be denied. The US Solicitor General, Elizabeth Priloga, said that she in fact said this in its filing before the Supreme Court on December 16th. She had in fact said that Rana was not entitled to relief from extradition to India in this particular case. Remember, Rana is known to be associated with Pakistani-American terrorist David Coleman Headley, one of the main conspirators of the 26/11 Mumbai attack. In fact, let's also listen to some of the reactions that have come in.
मुझे लग रहा है जस्टिस तो मिल रहा है, बट उससे पहले लाया जाए मुंबई शहर में, पता चलेगा हमारी इंडिया को काफी न्यूज पता चलेगी उस चीज के बारे में कि पाकिस्तान में कहाँ आतंकवाद अभी भी छुपे हुए और वो लोग क्या क्या प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं, और 26/11 में किस तरीके से और भी जो बातें थी शायद नहीं पता चली हो तो वो अब पता चले, तो ये बहुत बड़ी न्यूज है और खुशी की बात है। बट मैं ये चाहती हूँ कि इसे भी सजा और फांसी की सजा ही होनी चाहिए। 26/11/2008 की रात में मेरे पापा भाई के साथ पूना जाने वाली थी बड़े भाई को मिलने के लिए। हम CST गए थे। CST में 12 और 13 नंबर प्लेटफॉर्म के सामने बैठे थे, तभी अचानक से बम धमाका हुआ, गोली फायरिंग होने लगती है। मैं मेरे पापा के साथ भागने की कोशिश करती हूँ, वैसे ही एक गोली आके मेरे राइट पैर में लग जाती है। तभी मैं एक शख्स को देखती हूँ जो गुटका सरीका है, जिसके हाथ में बड़ी सी गन है। मुझे नहीं पता था कि उसका नाम कसाब है और वो पाकिस्तान से आया, ये सारी चीजें मुझे बाद में पता चला। तभी वो शख्स की शक्ल मेरे ज़हन में इस तरह बसी है जो आज भी मुझे वो याद है और वो रात मैं कभी नहीं भूल सकती हूँ। चाह के भी मैं कभी उस रात को मैं भुलाना भी नहीं चाहूंगी, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगेगा कि सर अगर मैंने वो रात भूल गई तो मैंने आतंकवाद को माफ कर दिया, जो कि मैं गलती से भी नहीं करना चाहती हूँ। उस टाइम पे काफी लाशों थी, कहीं गिरे हुए थे, किसी को हाथ में गोली लग रही है तो किसी को पैर तो किसी को सर पर। कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा था कि आखिर यहाँ तभी सब क्या हो रहा है। उसमें से एक गोली मुझे लगी हुई थी। गोली लगने के बाद मैं बेहोश हो गई थी। वहाँ से मुझे हॉस्पिटल लेके गए सेंट जॉर्ज, तो सेंट जॉर्ज में मेरा ऑपरेशन नहीं हुआ। वहाँ से मुझे JJ शिफ्ट किए। फिर कुछ टाइम बाद मुझे मुंबई पुलिस से कॉल आया कि आप कोर्ट में गवाही दोगे। हमने बोला हम रेडी है। मेरे पापा ने दोनों आतंकवादी को देखा था और मैंने कसाब को। फिर 10 जून को 2009 को मेरे पापा और मैंने जाके कोर्ट में आइडेंटिफाई किए थे। आज 26/11 को 15 साल हो गए, 16 साल होने आए हैं। 16 साल हो गए, बट इन 16 सालों में मैं हर बार कुछ ना कुछ न्यूज सुनते रहती हूँ। तो मेरी यही रिएक्शन है कि अब लाया जा रहा है तो इसे काफी डिटेल पता चलना चाहिए और ऐसे आतंकवादी को सिर्फ फांसी की सजा होनी चाहिए। मैं तभी 9 साल की थी जब मुझे गोली लगी। उस उम्र में मुझे ये सब क्या होता है, गोली लगना एंड ये टेररिज्म, ये सारी चीजों का कोई नॉलेज नहीं था। मेरे सामने काफी लाशों, पुलिस ऑफिसर और ये सारी चीजें देखना बहुत मतलब मैंने इन फ्यूचर कभी सोचा नहीं होगा सर, वो एक बच्ची के उसमें भी कि ऐसी चीजें मुझे फेस करनी पड़ेगी। और तब से एक हिम्मत भी मिली है कि आतंकवाद के खिलाफ लड़ना है, कभी डरना नहीं है और ना ही पीछे हटना है। मैं काफी लोगों से कांटेक्ट में हुई हूँ, तो कुछ लोगों ने इस चीज पे बहुत अच्छी तरीके से बात की है और कुछ लोगों ने शायद उस चीजों पे बात करना छोड़ दिया है। शायद मे भी कुछ लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि जो अब हो गया है वो हो गया है, बट सभी का जो गुस्सा है सर वो कभी खत्म नहीं होगा, वो हमेशा वैसे का वैसे ही रहेगा। और आज भी वो सभी भी वही चाहते हैं और मैं भी यही चाहती हूँ कि तहव्वुर राना को जो लाया जा रहा है उसके खिलाफ कड़ी कानून बनाया जाए और उसे फांसी की सजा ही दी जाए।
All right, I'm currently joined by my senior colleague Nikunj Garg. Sir, we have been reiterating this again and again that this is a big, big victory for India. What can we expect now?
Well, as far as expectation is concerned, Osama, the expectation from both the law enforcement side and from the families of the victims and victims themselves, some people who survived that attack, like this lady whom we were listening currently on our screens, the expectation would be only one, that Tahawwur Rana faces the full might of Indian justice and that he faces on every count of the crime that he has done to more than 200 families in this country in one of the biggest and the most dastardly terror strikes that this country and the world has ever seen. And the sooner that happens, already there has been quite a delay, but I would say that, this delay is probably worth every minute that we have gone through this, because certainly it was not in our hands to get Tahawwur Rana back on our soil quickly. And certainly he was not on our soil, despite the crime taking place on our soil. And that we have been able to finally nail him and finally be able to get him to Indian shores is a testament also to the global cooperation against terrorism, a testament to the fact that about the sensitivities of the nation states, including their judicial systems, about the acts of terror and acts of terrorists, wherever they may be carried out. And most importantly, my own understanding of this whole situation is that his testimony in this country, his evidence in this country should be able to nail the principal perpetrators who, according to me, are the members and the ranking officials of the Pakistani army. And the full ends of the justice to the families of the victims and to the nation would be served the day all of them, at least their names be smirched, even if they are not made to stand in the dock of a court, their names be smirched, charges brought against them, and put up in the full public display that these are the people who are responsible for the massacre of the innocents in the lovely city of Mumbai. For no rhyme or reason, they took away the lives of the innocents and destroyed the families and left the scars on scores of families and the city forever. That would, according to me, be the serving of the real ends of justice.
Right. Sir, having said that, just wanted to understand the kind of cooperation that we are expecting from the United States authorities, especially in ensuring that, Rana's smooth extradition and his subsequent trial in India now.
Well, absolutely. I think that is very critical. And I think now the ball moves from the judicial realm to the administrative realm. And the courts have delivered their final verdict. The Supreme Court has declined his petition in no uncertain terms, leaving no scope open for this criminal to hide behind the processes of justice anymore. Now, what the ball will fall will be between the Department of Justice and the Ministry of External Affairs, Government of United States of America. So they will have to now very quickly and very robustly cooperate with their Indian counterparts, and I'm quite sure that India is not going to waste any more seconds in trying to get this criminal, this terrorist back on Indian soil. So administrative cooperation between the states now becomes pivotal, and I'm quite sure that the External Affairs Minister, who has returned from the United States just a few hours back, if you can put it like that, who was also extremely pleased by the status of the relationship, which came out in his words when he said that the level of trust between the two countries and two administrations is extremely high. That would go a great deal in ensuring that the required level of cooperation between the ministries, various ministries of the United States and Government of India is at full display here and takes forward this entire process very, very quickly.
All right, Nikunj Garg, sir, thank you very much for getting us all those details. In fact, I'm also currently joined by my colleague Anuj Raite. At this point, Anuj, who's standing there at the Taj Mahal Palace in Colaba in Mumbai. Anuj, just give us a sense of what does it mean to the people, especially who have been affected, who have suffered for so long, for the last 15, 17 years. We heard so many voices here on our channel at just a short while ago. And everyone has the same thing to say. Bring him back to India and bring him to justice.
Sama, we've been interacting with these victims for a long time now, ever since these attacks took place. And there seems to be a very common link that joins all of them. Of course, as we've been saying it time and again, what is lost can never be brought back to life, be it, of course, the death of loved ones or injuries which have affected lives of not just one family, but of many family of people who are dependent on them as well. But one thing that these people have in common as far as expectation is concerned is the fact that at least the ones who are involved in this crime, right, it is the masterminds of these particular case, should all be tried, and action against them should be taken in the Indian courts. And that is very interesting, given the fact that after this particular attack was executed, the city, of course, they thought was left in shambles, but it did manage to come back to its normal routine very soon. However, those responsible for it, many of them found a way out and settled down in different parts of the world. Most of these victims, right, who are either who are either handicapped or the family members of those who had lost their lives, are very well aware of the movements and the fact that what action has been taken against these people on a timely basis. Although it becomes very difficult for them to time and again visit those memories, visit those times. But as Devika was talking to us a while back to the channel, and she said how they consider it their duty to remember it till the very end, so that this particular matter, now the judicial justice, and whenever it has to take its course, it will. But for them, the fact that they remember it every year, every time they speak to people, they speak to media, that itself holds a lot of importance. Now, when you talk about this particular case of Tahawwur Rana, again, similarly, like what happened in Hadley case as well, they've been wanting the extradition to take place and the individual to be tried in the Indian court and punishment to be given here in the soil of India.
All right, Anuj Raite, thank you very much for getting us all those details. In fact, just a short while ago, we spoke to the former DGP of Maharashtra in Mumbai, Mr. P.K. Jain. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
See, it's a big achievement because Tahawwur Rana is a close associate of ISI. He's funded by the ISI, and he had facilitated the entire trip of James of Hadley. Now, by getting him to India, the Indian agencies will get an access to what exactly transpired behind this entire conspiracy of attacking India. So I think, we had one guy who spilled the entire beans on Pakistan as to how Pakistan is funding and still carrying out terrorist activities against India. So Tahawwur Rana would be a much bigger achievement because he is aware of the operations of ISI and Pakistani-backed elements in America and India. So I think it is going to be a big achievement. It is going to be a storehouse of information. I'm sure the Indian intelligence agencies will be able to dig out a lot more important information from him as compared to what they got from Qatar. We have not been able to accept Qatar. We have not been able to prosecute practically anybody in India in connection with that entire conspiracy and whatever transpired with terrorist activities. Getting this fellow, as I said, again will put the focus on Pakistan's backing of terror. And the legal process will, of course, take its own course. The agencies will have to prove his involvement, whatever he already has been convicted in the US. But he has to stand the test of the legal process in India also. But I'm sure that the agencies have got plenty of material on him and his handlers to bring them to justice in piecemeal basis also. It is all happening in piecemeal basis, but it will happen. I'm sure the Indian agencies will get a lot of information. They already have a lot of information. Some more information they will get from the US agencies also. I don't see any potential challenges or any serious challenges to his prosecution and conviction in India.
The Yamuna River pollution issue has become a political battleground in Delhi, with the Aam Aadmi Party and Bharatiya Janata Party along with the Indian National Congress trading charges over who's responsible for the river's deplorable condition. The BJP has been criticizing the Aam Aadmi Party government, accusing them of failing to clean the Yamuna River. On the other hand, the Aam Aadmi Party has blamed the BJP-ruled Haryana government for releasing untreated industrial wastewater into the Yamuna, contributing to its pollution. And now, what we are seeing on our screens is dramatic protest there by Parvesh Verma, who's holding a poster of Arvind Kejriwal and dipping it into the Yamuna River there. And my colleague Ishika joins us live to get us more on this. Ishika, you know, you're there at the Yamuna River, on the banks of the Yamuna River. There were dramatic protests that we were seeing, that we are witnessing on our screens at the moment. Parvesh Verma there dipping a poster in the Yamuna River of Arvind Kejriwal. Just get us a sense of what exactly transpired. Just give us the details of that protest as well.
Well, certainly, dramatic developments over the Yamuna politics just ahead of the elections. And today, a symbolic protest was here held at the ITO Ghat, from where we are currently reporting, by the BJP candidate from the New Delhi seat, Parvesh Verma. In fact, he took us all, the media persons, on a boat ride to show the very bad condition of the Yamuna River, and said that the same Arvind Kejriwal, who had promised to clean this Yamuna River by 2025, is continuously, remaining silent over this entire issue. He also, in fact, brought a cutout that we showed you via the visuals, where you can see Arvind Kejriwal holding his ears and saying that I am sorry I could not clean the Yamuna River as I promised. Please do not vote for me. And we saw very dramatic visuals where Parvesh Verma was continuously dipping that cutout of Arvind Kejriwal into this, Yamuna River, into this polluted Yamuna River. So certainly the politics over this only continues to escalate just ahead of the elections. Over to you.
All right, Ishika Verma, thank you very much for getting us all the latest as far as this recent development is concerned. And as the battle for Delhi heats up, we aim to provide insight into the candidates contesting the 2025 Delhi Assembly elections in our special segment, Know Your Candidate. Now, one such candidate from the BJP is Neeraj Basoya, who joins us at this particular moment. Neeraj Basoya, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. My first question to you is, what do the people of Kasturba Nagar expect from their leader in this particular election?
There are a lot of issues regarding for last decade. There is no development work is going into Kasturba Nagar. Roads, education, sanitation, there are a lot of issues which need to be addressed right now.
Right. So having said that, what do you feel it will take to tilt the voter towards a change, according to you?
Certainly, there is one major factor, corruption and 10 years anti-incumbency. Now the people get the point that they will do nothing but on all freebies which will be never delivered to the Delhiites. That the Delhiites understand the thing. Now the most important part, Mr. Kejriwal used to tell to everybody that देश के लिए मोदी ठीक है, दिल्ली के लिए मैं ठीक हूँ. So certain section of the society vote for him because he's telling, people think that he's telling the truth. कि देश के लिए तो he's already accepting that देश के लिए मोदी ठीक है, and now for दिल्ली के लिए मैं ठीक हूँ. He used to tell the people of Delhi all these slogans.
Mr. Basoya, there are many tried and tested formulas working in other BJP-ruled states. Do you feel the need to implement those in Delhi as well?
Modi ji vision, you have read the Sankalpas of Modi ji. And every Indian citizen or abroad thinks that Modi ki guarantee is valid. If Modi says something, every will you can say na that Modi ki guarantee hai, to Modi ne bola wo hoga. People, there is a lot of understanding between the people of society and in Delhi that Modi jo bolenge wo theek hoga. The Kejriwal is totally fraud. Now the Delhi, sometimes few months back he's saying कि 1,000 rupees per month to the ladies. After some months, nearly 2 months or 1 month, he said, I will give you 2,100 rupees. He never gave 1,000 rupees, will never give 21,000 rupees, 2,100 rupees. People of Delhi understand this, all these promises are false promises. Now their base has gone. And you will see that Delhi people will vote in the favor of BJP this time. Lot of changes are there in the ground.
All right, Mr. Neeraj Baswaya there, thank you very much for speaking with NDTV. Shifting our focus to some international news, Russian President Vladimir Putin has expressed interest in meeting with Donald Trump to discuss pressing issues, including the ongoing Ukraine war and energy prices. Putin believes that a meeting with Trump would be beneficial given their previously pragmatic and trusting relations between the two countries. In fact, I have my colleague Sakshi Bajaj here with me to get us more on this. Sakshi, take it away.
Well, that's right. And the big impact really on the energy space and the oil market at large. So Russian President Putin has said that he and Donald Trump should meet to talk about energy prices and the Ukraine war at large, while US President Donald Trump has reiterated his call for OPEC, or the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, to cut oil prices. And here in India, Petroleum Minister Hardeep Singh Puri has said India's oil supply chain remains secure despite the US imposing sanctions on Russia's oil sector. So a lot is really being said about the sector at large. But what does this really mean for prices in the near term and the long term? Well, to understand this, for both India and the global impact at large, I'm joined by Peter McGuire, CEO, XM Australia, and an oil expert. Peter, thank you for your time. Russian President saying that, look, he needs to meet US President Donald Trump and they should talk about energy prices. US President Donald Trump urging OPEC to lower oil rates. How do you see all this impacting oil prices in the near and long term, and the India impact in particular?
Well, good morning, Sakshi. I mean, there's so much that we've seen in a 5-day window from President Trump. And there's no doubt that he's going to push hard in very deliberate fashion to President Putin to say he wants to see that Ukraine situation wrapped up, and Ukraine's prepared to come to the party and as far as a deal to be done, and he's going to push very strongly and incentivize, I would say, President Putin to go to the table as well and see some form of finishing this whole saga. The next part is, yes, cheaper crude prices. I think it'll be certainly beneficial for the likes of India as a big importer. And the framework is going to be, I think, softer prices from here, because President Trump is pushing that initiative again to drill, baby, drill. You've got to read through the whole the noise and the signal and understand what he's actually saying.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights, and of course, where you see oil prices going in the near term and long term.
I think I'm going to see softer prices from here, Sakshi, because, quite simply, President Trump's fully engaged. He understands global inflation, and it's a key input as far as cheaper energy costs. It really hurts the man and woman on the street from their wallet and their purse with higher energy costs. So that's his whole initiative first off. And I would think that you'll see softer prices from here. Hard to put a floor to it, but I don't expect there to be a blowout unless something happens geopolitically. But I feel as though President Trump will keep his finger on the pulse for cheaper energy.
All right. Thank you so much, Peter, for joining us. Thank you for this interaction.
Anil Kapoor.
Proud of all the officers here.
Kiara Advani. Sonu Sood.
आज मुझे मौका मिला आपके साथ जुड़ने का.
Vijay Devarakonda.
We are Indians.
Republic Day Special. Best of Jai Jawan, only on NDTV 24/7.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone. Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles. This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires, and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted. This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on people's platform.
Please mind the gap.
BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw